It was an ordinary evening in Old Delhi, traffic crawling, lights glowing, tourists drifting toward the Red Fort, until 6:42 p.m., 10th November 2025. A white Hyundai i20 parked near the Red Fort metro station exploded with a force that tore through the street. 8 people lost their lives, 19 were injured. Shards of glass and debris fell across one of the most symbolic locations in India's capital. It was Delhi's first major blast in over a decade, and the shock echoed far beyond the city. For a rising India, this wasn't just a moment of tragedy. It was a jolt, a reminder that even nations climbing toward greatness can face moments that test their resilience. The first 24 hours were confusion and unanswered questions. No organization claimed responsibility. No familiar pattern emerged. But by the second day, the investigation began to take shape. CCTV footage showed the car entering the city hours before the explosion. Tracing the vehicle's movement, authorities detained one individual, a development reported by national and international media. 2 others, including professionals from respected institutions, were also questioned to understand whether they had any link or knowledge related to the vehicle or the people involved. Investigators seized digital devices and began analyzing communication histories, location data, and financial transactions. The investigation is still ongoing, and officials have not drawn final conclusions. But one thing became clear: this incident was not random. It forced India to confront the deeper question of how secure its crowded, fast-expanding cities really are. A blast like this doesn't just shake buildings, it shakes assumptions, especially in a nation poised to transform into a $5 trillion economic power. To understand why this moment is significant, we must zoom out. India is not rising quietly. India is rising visibly, and sometimes uncomfortably. A nation of 1.4 billion moving toward a major economic milestone reshapes global equations, supply chains shift, investment flows reroute, military strategies evolve, global diplomacy recalibrates, and wherever power shifts, friction appears. History shows this clearly. As South Korea, Japan, and China rose, they faced cyber attacks, economic pressure, disinformation campaigns, attempts to exploit internal vulnerabilities. Not necessarily violent incidents, but waves of strategic tension that tested national resilience. India has lived versions of this before. India understands this pattern. So when an incident of this scale happens in 2025, at this moment, in this place, analysts don't see just a crime scene. They see a reminder that India's rise is not only economic, but strategic. A $5 trillion ambition brings opportunity, but also scrutiny. It brings investors, but also challenges. And it forces a nation to strengthen not just its economy, but its security and its unity. This is the deep water reality. Moments like this test the strength of a rising power. India's $5 trillion makeover, the silent revolution, the world ignored. India's rise is not a straight line. It's a system overhaul across technology, industry, infrastructure, defense, foreign policy, and national identity. Today, India is not just growing, India is reinventing itself. This transformation has 10 silent pillars, and one by one they are flipping the traditional narrative of what India is capable of. Let's begin. Pillar 1. Manufacturing. India is no longer the back office of the world. It is becoming one of its factories. The production-linked incentive, PLI, schemes across 14 key sectors have created a wave of investment across electronics, batteries, EVs, defense systems and semiconductors. Manufacturing PMI consistently above 58 indicates expansion at near-decade highs. This is the moment when Indian factories in Tamil Nadu, UP, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Karnataka compete with facilities in China, Vietnam and Mexico. For the first time in modern history, global supply chains are shifting toward India, not away from it. Yet India's logistics cost remains around 14% of GDP, far above global competitors. And the skill gap in advanced manufacturing remains large. Reliable power supply is still a bottleneck in several states. India is rising, but this pillar needs strengthening for the $5 trillion dream to stand firm. Pillar 2. Digital India. If manufacturing is the backbone of the new India, digital infrastructure is the nervous system. Aadhaar, 1.3 billion people. UPI, 10 billion transactions every month. ONDC, a digital marketplace that may become the world's largest open commerce platform. Foreign governments are not just watching. Many are asking India to help build similar systems in their own countries. UPI is now India's quiet, soft power weapon. India built the world's largest digital public infrastructure, faster than any democracy in history. But deepfakes, cyber attacks and digital scams are rising sharply. India must build cyber defenses as quickly as it builds digital systems. Pillar 3. The rural consumer rise. The real silent revolution is happening far from the big cities. More than 7.4 lakh kilometers of rural roads. Electrification reaching nearly every household. Affordable smartphones entering villages. UPI used by farmers, shopkeepers, truck drivers. For the first time, India's villages are not defined by poverty, but by potential. However, rural unemployment and agricultural distress remain major structural challenges. Without rural healthcare and education upgrades, this pillar will struggle. Pillar 4. Infrastructure. India today is building infrastructure at the scale of continents, not countries. Highways that run from Gujarat to Assam. Dedicated freight corridors that move goods twice as fast. Airports expanding at a pace rivaling China's early boom. Metro systems in over 20 cities. Ports linked to multimodal logistics hubs. LED streetlights replacing millions of old grids. And the PM Gati Shakti plan, integrating rail, road, waterways, airports and warehouses on a single digital map. This is not patchwork. This is a national rewiring project. India is now adding more highways per day than any other democracy on earth. But land acquisition delays slow down many major corridors. Urban congestion remains a serious problem. Cost overruns still haunt mega projects. The ambition is huge. The execution must become even sharper. Pillar 5. Green energy. A decade ago, India was seen as a fossil fuel nation. Today, over 50% of its installed electricity capacity is from non-fossil sources. Solar parks across Rajasthan, Gujarat and Karnataka. Wind corridors across Tamil Nadu. Hydro expansion in the northeast. And India's flagship green hydrogen mission aiming to capture global demand by 2030. This isn't climate idealism. This is strategic independence, reducing reliance on imported oil and gas. In just 10 years, India tripled its renewable energy capacity, one of the fastest expansions anywhere in the world. Storage technologies are expensive. Grid integration remains an engineering challenge. Financing large green projects is still difficult for many states. India's energy transition is real, but to power a $5 trillion economy, reliability must rise alongside ambition. Pillar 6. AI, data, and the intelligence economy. The next global race is not for oil, but for intelligence. And India is stepping into it with surprising force. AI market projected at $17 billion. Data center investments are expected to reach $20 to $25 billion. Google setting up a multi-billion India AI hub. Open commerce architecture, like ONDC, becoming a global case study. The national AI strategy shaping responsible innovation. Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, forming what analysts call a South Asian Silicon Belt. If the 1990s made India the back office of the world, AI could make it the brain. But every rise brings new shadows, and India is no exception. Deepfake crimes are rising. Data localization rules pose compliance challenges. India needs far more skilled AI engineers than universities currently produce. A $5 trillion economy will demand not just physical strength, but cognitive strength. Pillar 7. Human capital and the demographic power. India is becoming the world's largest working-age population. A demographic force unmatched anywhere. This is India's greatest advantage, or its greatest risk. Skill India, vocational training programs and digital upskilling are accelerating. Ayushman Bharat protects nearly 40 crore people, reducing catastrophic health costs. Urban migration is reshaping the labor force. By 2030, India will have more workers than China, the US, and Europe combined. Job creation must keep pace. Education quality varies widely. Urban housing, transit, and social services need massive expansion to absorb the labor shift. Demography is not destiny unless skill transforms it. Pillar 8. Economic reforms that shifted the system. Behind every visible change is an invisible structural reform. GST unified a fragmented tax landscape. IBC resolved over 13 lakh crore in defaulted loans, unlocking capital for new businesses. Corporate tax cuts attracted manufacturing giants. FDI liberalization opened key sectors. These are not headlines. These are the quiet gears of an economy preparing for high-speed performance. India is no longer reforming for survival like 1991. It is reforming for leadership. The challenges are clear. Regulatory inconsistencies still concern global investors. MSMEs struggle for easy credit. India must simplify compliance further to keep momentum. The foundation is stronger than ever, but the building is still under construction. Pillar 9. Defense modernization and war lessons. India is not just modernizing its economy, it is modernizing its defense doctrine. Defense budget rising, capital outlay growing, Rafale jets, S-400 systems, missile upgrades, naval expansion, rocket artillery, space-based surveillance. But the biggest shift came from studying the Russia-Ukraine war. Drones versus tanks, mobile warfare, satellite intelligence, electronic warfare, precision weapon tactics. These lessons reshaped India's thinking. The next war will be fought with algorithms as much as ammunition, and India knows it. The two-front threat, Pakistan and China, is real. India still imports critical defense technology. Border infrastructure requires continuous upgrading. A rising power needs rising security, and the blast in Delhi reminded India why. Pillar 10. ISRO. India's rise extends into space. Chandrayaan-3 touching the lunar South Pole. Aditya L1 studying the Sun. Gaganyaan preparing for human spaceflight. European companies choosing Indian rockets for launches. ISRO is building not just missions but markets. India is becoming the world's low-cost launch pad, and the world is noticing. The challenges are, long-term funding must increase. Competition from SpaceX is fierce. Deep space missions beyond 2040 require sustained investment. India's space dreams are real, but must be matched with long-term strategy. Global dimension, BRICS, corridors, and FDI. India is reshaping its role in global power structures, not by isolation, but by architecture. BRICS expansion adding major economies outside the Western Bloc. The India-Middle East-Europe corridor, IMEC, creating a new trade ecosystem. The International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, linking Mumbai to Russia and Europe via Iran. Chabahar Port, offering India's strategic gateway into Central Asia. India is building corridors, not just for goods, but for influence. FDI inflow of $81 billion shows investor confidence, but investors also demand stability. India is no longer fitting into global systems. It is helping shape them. Middle East volatility may disrupt IMEC. Sanctions complicate INSTC. Global uncertainty makes foreign capital cautious. India's rise is global, but so are its risks. We return to where the story began. The Red Fort, the smoke, the silence that followed. The blast was not just a tragedy, it was a reminder. A reminder that as India rises, the world around it changes. Economic growth brings new expectations. Digital progress brings new risks. Influence brings new attention. And open societies attract new challenges. This is the reality of becoming a major power. A $5 trillion nation cannot afford old vulnerabilities. It needs a $5 trillion security mindset. Because the headline was the blast, but the real story is what it revealed. Across this documentary, we've seen the 10 pillars of India's rise. Each pillar is strong on its own. Together, they form a national redesign, a new India taking shape in real time. But the Delhi blast showed a simple truth. Growth without security is incomplete. Security without modernization is fragile. And modernization without unity is impossible. What India must fix? The priorities. A rising India must strengthen a few critical fronts. Modern intelligence systems, smarter urban security, stronger borders and rapid response, robust cyber defense, job creation and skill development, empowered MSMEs and local supply chains, simplified regulations for investors, better healthcare and education, social stability and unity. These are not weaknesses. These are responsibilities, the price of becoming a major world power. This blast will not derail India, but it will define what comes next, because the world is watching. The world respects economic growth. but it trusts nations that can protect that growth. And India is entering that phase, calmly, steadily, powerfully. Its silent revolution is not just in highways, factories, or satellites. It is in something deeper. India is no longer reacting to the world. The world is reacting to India, a force in economics, a force in technology, a force in geopolitics, a force in the 21st century. This is the India the world underestimated. The question is not whether India will reach $5 trillion. It will. The real question is, can India protect its rise, secure its future, and stay united as it becomes a global power? The Delhi blast was a warning, but it was also a reminder. India is no longer a nation to be shaken. It is a nation the world must now reckon with. It isn't just rising, it is arriving. You are watching Next Horizon Global. Subscribe for more fact-based documentaries on geopolitics, technology, and the future of nations. Your curiosity powers this channel.